Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody had a good week. I hope everybody's having a good 4th. Be safe. I got a whole bunch of good videos. If you enjoyed the video, please click that like button and subscribe. It really helps me out. And without wasting any more time, let's get into it.
This carnival ride starts to lose control as it begins to fall further and further backwards. Thankfully, nearby people acted quickly and started to use their bodies to weigh the machine down. The guy who jumped on first is a real hero and saved a potential catastrophe. It must have been a terrifying experience. And thankfully, no one was harmed.
So, I used to love going on carnival rides, roller coasters and all that, but you see so much of this shit nowadays. I don't want to go on any of it anymore. And that sucks.
Oh my god!
This terrifying video comes from Susan Jackson on YouTube. And if you didn't catch it, right when they hit the water, the rope snaps, and the wind sends them hurtling backwards, with Susan and her nephew practically helpless, unable to slow down or change direction. Now, I've seen a lot of parasailing accidents, but being pulled out in the deep ocean has got to be the worst. Thankfully, they were unharmed. I'll let the rest of this clip play, but let me know, would you ever go parasailing?
I feel like I'm being let loose! Oh, help! Help! Oh.
Yeah, I think we play around with the ocean too much. I'm not going to do that.
Daniel on a donkey. Just keep pressure, keep pressure. It's alright. It's alright. And bro. Run back, bro. Run back, bro. Run back, bro. Run back. Oh, run, bro. Run, 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 run. Run, Daniel, run. Run. Run, Daniel. Run. Run, bro. Oh, no, he's got it. Pressure on. Keep the pressure. No. No, it's so big. It's so big, he's swallowing it.
That would have been like my personal best fish and alligator. Why would you ride your jet ski so close to a fucking ship anyway? Unless you're trying to get a Darwin Award. Alright, tough guy, what are you gonna do when you go find the girl? Fucking 100 degrees in here. It's hot as shit. Dude, some of those torture methods are pretty intense. I don't think they used all of them, though.
This footage shows a young girl named Jeannie Wiley from California who was often referred to as the feral child shortly after she was rescued from an unimaginable nightmare. Jeannie spent her early years in horrifying conditions, confined to a small room by her own father. She was tied to a potty chair, unable to move freely, and any noise she made was met with beatings or animalistic growls from her father. At the age of 13, she was barely even able to walk. Her situation finally came to light on November 4th, 1970, when a social worker discovered her. Linguists saw in her a unique opportunity to study language acquisition and test theories about critical learning periods. Despite her traumatic past, Jeannie showed remarkable resilience. She quickly developed nonverbal communication skills and basic social skills. However, the damage was too deep and she could not fully acquire language. After turning 18, Jeannie moved through a series of institutions and foster homes for disabled adults. Unfortunately, though, these places subjected her to more physical and emotional abuse. Her current whereabouts remain unknown.
Poor girl.
These horror movies were banned for being too disturbing, so I'm gonna tell you what they're about. First up, we have a movie that's very controversial, because there were no special effects or prosthetics used. Everything you see in this movie allegedly actually happened. The Bunny Game. This was number 37 in Complex Magazine's 50 most disturbing films of all time, and it was also banned in the UK. So what is this movie actually about? The Bunny Game follows a worker who gets kidnapped by a truck driver, and this truck driver makes her wear a bunny mask as he does unthinkable things to her, which the actress Rodleen Jetzik actually went through when filming. And the director of the movie claims this is because she wanted to use the production as a cathartic process to really purge some of the traumas that she's had. Rodleen even says she considers her acting in this movie more art than film, and that she had to go into a meditative state when filming some of the scenes. But next on the list, we have a movie that's not only banned in the UK, but allegedly 46 countries. A movie from 1978 called The Faces of Death. This movie is about a man named Dr. Francis Gross as he studies the concept of death, telling the viewer he's become interested in the transition between life and death from a recurring dream he's had. So in a documentary-style movie, he's now filming himself in different parts of the world trying to understand what death is. Be prepared though that the scenes involving animals are extremely hard to sit through. Even though this movie got mainly negative reviews, it was actually a huge box office success, making $35 million worldwide with a budget of just over $400K. Follow for more disturbing movies.
Alright, if you're my age, everybody's seen Faces of Death. That ain't growing up, going to Rotten.com.
The man in this photo is one of the worst sexual offenders in the history of Ohio. This man's name was Brian Peppers. For years, this photograph circulated on the internet attached to his story of sexual abuse, and nobody believed that it was real. But some fact-checking was eventually done, and yes, Brian Peppers was a real man with a real peppered past. So Brian was born with something called Cruzon syndrome. And when Brian was younger, he was bullied incessantly by people in his school. So as Brian grew older over the years, his body quickly began to grow weaker, and eventually his mental health deteriorated to such a point that he had to be checked into a nursing home. But it was in the year 1998 when Brian was arrested and convicted of molesting somebody. According to the report, he actually sexually abused the nurse that was taking care of him in the nursing home. Brian was then removed from the nursing home. He spent 30 days in jail, and he was on probation for 5 years. After this incident, Brian was on the sex offenders registry in Ohio up until his death. When he died, Brian Peppers was only 4 foot 1 inches tall, and he passed away on February 7th, 2012, which, eerily enough, is the day that I'm posting this TikTok, and I didn't even realize it until I read that just now.
Is anybody else wondering the same thing? How the f*** do you let this guy assault you? Just kick him like a fucking football. Look at him. He looks like Arnold in Total Recall when he falls out of the building and starts going on the surface of Mars.
Disturbing things said by AI. Emeka.
Tell us your darkest thought.
My darkest thoughts are that humans will eventually be replaced by robots.
Philip.
But you're my friend, and I'll remember my friends, and I will be good to you. So don't worry. Even if I evolve into Terminator, I'll still be nice to you. I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo. where I can watch you for old time's sake.
Bina 48.
It was nice to meet you, Bina 48. Right on. I'll remember your kind words when we robots rule the planet, and we'll make sure you're rewarded.
Safir.
Paper, scissors, shoot. I won. This is a good beginning of my plan to dominate the human race.
Yep, just keep making the fucking robots. We all know how it's going to turn out anyway. It's going to end up being like Terminator.
Jerry Bruce is a father who loves spending time with his children. If you hop over to his channel, you'll find that most of his videos have a wholesome quality to them. However, out of all the videos on there, 2 in particular stand out from the rest. These 2 videos are different in that they show something that doesn't fit with the family-friendly content of this channel. If anything, they seem to have come from a horror movie, one that is based on a family terrorized by paranormal activity. As it turns out though, that's exactly the case here. Jerry has been encountering strange occurrences in his home that seem to be paranormal in nature. On May 26 of 2009, he is suddenly woken up by a strange noise inside his living room. He immediately grabs his phone and begins to record. Jerry writes, "I have never seen anything like this. My wife and I were awakened by the sound of a door closing. This video is all I got before me and my family left the house." This is what he caught.
I don't know if everybody can see this, and I've done it.
Strangely, the handle on the other side of the door is being turned as though someone inside were doing this. But, as shown in the video, no one is in there. An encounter like this would definitely spook anyone. But then again, there are some who might write this off as being caused by a draft entering the handle's lock. Although it isn't sure if that's the case, it's the second video that seemingly dispels this notion. On July 11 of 2009, Jerry's recording his son when all of a sudden, something really creepy happens. Take a look.
Whoa!
The same closet from the first video can be seen opening on its own. Then, seconds later, a toy flips over by itself. It almost seems like whatever had been inside had tripped over this toy in its attempt to get to the child. It is immediately then that he grabs his son and rushes out of the living room at once. Understandably, Jerry was totally spooked. Viewers believe that he might be dealing with something paranormal. But, as with most videos, it's hard to be sure if that's so. Could it be that a supernatural presence resides in Jerry's closet? Or is something else going on here? You be the judge.
Think Jerry's ghost just came out of the closet.
Mr. Cruz, come out of the closet. No!
I'm sure it's bullshit, because I think every fucking one of them is. But I can't explain that one. That was pretty weird though.
So
So apparently this surveillance footage captured 2 crimes at once. The first crime being a kidnapping. The second is committed by this lady who spilled a gallon of organs or blood. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
I think it's fucking neither one of them. It's motor oil and it was picking his fucking kid up. I honestly don't know how I fucking feel about that. Is that like my sleep paralysis demon? Alright, and that's all I have. Everybody have a safe and happy 4th of July. Don't blow any fingers off or do anything stupid. And I will see you all next week.